What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 59 of the Hive Mind podcast. Be sure to check out the podcast on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and Twitch. I apologize for my Twitch channel not being caught up. I will be working on that later this week. I got behind and I got a little busy, so that's going to change hopefully here pretty soon. So, let's start off the podcast with the obvious topic, which is Happy New Year. It's 2017. This is the first podcast of 2017, first video I've made of 2017, and I'm pretty hopeful for 2017. I really had a good 2016. I didn't do anything super crazy, like nothing crazy good happened, but I just started making. I didn't really start making. I just continued making good choices. I got into investing. That went super. I guess that is one big thing that went pretty well for me. Got into that. Which is good because that's good for my financial future. 20 years down the road, that's the ultimate goal, is financial independence. So started getting that ball rolling and had some very good early success. I'm not going to lie, some beginner's luck. Ended up having like a 17% return this year, which is fucking crazy. Had some good buy-ins with Trump and Brexit. So I'm not going to be the next Warren Buffett, and I'm not expecting to get 17% next year. Like the 17%, it was a fluke. I'm not going to lie, it's a fucking fluke. If I actually get 17% every year, which is never ever going to fucking happen ever, I would be ecstatic. So, but it's nice. It's nice to have some early success, and I'm hoping that this early success will keep me disciplined, which I think it will. I'm a pretty disciplined person. So that went well this year. The weight loss, very obvious thing that people realized. I lost a ton of weight in 2016. That wasn't related to New Year's at all. I did that. That was in the books. I'm not typically a New Year's resolution kind of guy. But I mean, if other people are, that's great. What else went good for me this year? I like my job. I like my job a lot. So that's always good. What else went good? Like my job, investing. There's some other stuff. I know I'm forgetting it. Oh yeah, YouTube. I'm having more fun doing YouTube now that I'm doing it as a part-time gig. My YouTube's like views and stats and stuff haven't really gotten that much better or worse. It's kind of stagnated, but I'm enjoying doing it more, so that's fun. A lot of that is my fault. Like, there's just not that much excitement around my channel, so that's one thing I'm hoping that I can change with 2017. Let's get on to the resolutions. So yeah, that's one thing I want to change in 2017. Hopefully with the help of Crowfall, I will be able to have some excitement around my YouTube channel. People like the podcast, but that's kind of a regular thing. Like, I guess some people might get excited for the podcast, like, oh boy, a new podcast. But I don't have that same sort of hype around my channel that I did with WildStar and with WoW and with SWTOR. And when I get really into an MMO, I feel like my channel has this like explosiveness where people cannot wait for the next Zyback WildStar video, because what the fuck is he gonna do next? Like, I don't have that X factor right now. And I'm hoping, and I really think Crowfall will deliver on that, just because it is such a fucking wide open sandbox game, or at least it's not right now, but it's going to be, to where I think it's gonna make for some very interesting videos, and I hope that my channel gets that excitement back to it. And I'm still gonna be doing the podcast. Like, I don't want, like, obviously not all of my videos are gonna have that boom to them, but I just want some of them to have it. Whereas the podcast will be a regular thing, and maybe I'll do some other regular series, but I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully that's one thing I can work on this year. I wrote down some other stuff here. I'd like to make more money this year than I did last year. Not because I'm some sort of crazy money-driven person, but money is indicative of success, and I'd like to have more success this year than I did last year. Not because I'm upset with how I did last year, but just because I'd like to keep the ball rolling. So hopefully I'm pretty happy with my job, so I'd like to make more money on my extracurricular stuff, my YouTube, I guess not so much Twitch, but stuff like that. My side gigs that I make money with, like the Crowfall affiliate link, which has been performing phenomenally well. I'm so pumped that you guys are pumped about Crowfall. Obviously, it's fun making money off that thing. I'm not gonna lie, I get paid when you guys sign up and buy stuff with that affiliate link. But I'm excited that you guys are excited because hopefully it'll lead to some more excitement on my fucking channel. Because God, I need it. So, man, I can't wait for Crowfall. That's another thing we'll talk about. So I'd like to make some more money. Another thing I'd like to continue doing, I've been very good about lifestyle inflation and not letting that get out of control. My fucking resolutions are boring as shit. But this is something I was good at this year. I just want to continue the trend of a lot of people when they make more money. Like this year, I made more money than I did when I was doing YouTube full time. But I didn't let that inflate my lifestyle. Lifestyle inflation is one of the things that keeps people poor. When people get a raise at work, they automatically assume like, hey, I should, get a nicer car. I should get a nicer apartment. I should, I don't know, go out to eat more, party more, whatever. When people make more money, they assume they need to spend more money. That's something I'm pretty good about not doing. If at work, they're like, Logan, we think you're the shit. We're going to raise your pay. You're going to get paid triple what you get paid when you're used to getting paid. I would still live in this cheap-ass apartment. I would still drive my used car with 100,000 miles on it. I would still attempt to live as lean as I'm living right now. So that's one thing I want to continue doing. Again, not because... And I'm not, like, torturing myself here. I'm not... Whenever I talk about this kind of stuff, people seem to think that I'm, like, torturing myself and eating, like, rice and beans. No, I'm still having a good time. I'm gonna get build a new PC this year at some point when Crowfall gets close to release, so that'll be at least $2,000. So I'm not like fucking, Jewing it up too hard by any means, but I'm Jewing it up as hard as possible and still having a good time. So, long-term goals, that goes back to my my financial independence thing. That's one of the things that I'd like to be fairly financially independent by my 40s, which I think I'm on mathematically I'm on track. So, and it's not about, whenever I say this, a lot of people think like, oh, he just wants to, big house and nice cars and shit, right? No, I don't want to be wealthy to have nice shit. I want to be wealthy to have less stress and more time. That is the most appealing thing about being financially independent for me, is not the stuff. It's the time. It's the lack of stress. It's the not having to worry about shit. And that's what I want by the time I'm in my late 30s, 40s. And I'm on the path. So again, it's not a very good New Year's resolution because it's too long of a timeline. But again, I've got the ball rolling. I've had the ball rolling for the past over a year at this point. So again, another thing, just keep on doing what I'm doing. That's the main thing for me in 2017, is to keep on doing what I'm doing already. And the last thing is actually, let me make sure this is the last thing. Is this the last thing? No, second to last thing. I want to be good at Crowfall. Now, I know this is like the lame fucking resolution, like, I want to be good at a video game, but I would like to be an influential player. I would definitely like to be an influential, like, YouTuber, but I want to be influential in some way in that game, which I know is going to be hard because I'm a casual fucking scrub gamer now. But I think I can still pull. I think I've still got it. So, and the thing about Crowfall is being good at Crowfall, I don't think is going to be like being good at other games. Being good at Crowfall might mean that you're not even very good at fighting other players. Like, your mechanical skills can be terrible in a game like Crowfall, and you can still be a good player. Because in my opinion, a good player in Crowfall is somebody who is influential, not somebody who is good at killing other players in MLG 1v1s. Being good at Crowfall might be the guy that controls the food market, or is a badass weaponsmith guy, and all of the weapons that everyone uses run through him. And he's got this, grip on the economy, and he's just an influential player in that regard. So, I'd like to do something and be someone in that game, hopefully. So, I think I will be. I'm pretty good at MMOs, but who knows? Your boy might be washed up. And this is the actual last thing that actually has is achievable in a year, I think. I'd like to get my weight up. Right now, I've lost a lot of weight, and I'm going to continue to lose weight for a little bit longer. But right now, I'm a little under 200 pounds, and I'm probably going to get down to 190, 185 by the time I'm done. I'm not really sure how much I need to lose. Well, I don't need to lose anymore, but I'd like to get fairly lean before I start bulking up again. So I'm not sure where that's gonna lie. I don't know if I'm gonna get to 190 and be like done, because I'm at the point right now to where every pound or two I lose, it's pretty noticeable. So I'm at the tail end of this thing, but I'd like to, by the end of the year, be a good bit over 200 pounds and still be lean. So right now I'm under 200 pounds and I still got a little fat on me. So I'd like to be like 210, 215. Something like that, because I feel like a little bit of a bitch being under 200 pounds. So, gonna work on bulking up. I think I think this will be very doable for me to do. I know a lot of people, I guess people that are into fitness and bodybuilding know that putting on like 15, 20 pounds of muscle is very, very hard. And I know it is. But I'm 6'5". I've got a lot of real estate to work with. And also, I know how much strength I've lost. For example, when I was a fat motherfucker, big fat piece of shit at like 330 pounds or whatever I was, I could go on the leg press machine and do 500 pounds, which is all of the weight. And I would do that slow reps all the way down, 30 reps. 30 reps per set, like 5 sets. My legs were retardedly strong. And I remember doing that at the gym and getting looks from people. And I was like, and I just thought that was like kind of fucking normal, because I guess, you know, when you're a fat piece of shit, it's kind of, it's like the perfect breeding ground. Unless you're like so fat that you are bedridden or something, you are the perfect storm for having crazy, ridiculously strong legs, because you're eating a huge caloric surplus every day, and every time you take a shit, get up off your chair or walk around, you're walking around with like an extra 150, potentially 200 pounds. So every time you get up, you're doing a squat. So you just have like, it's the perfect breeding ground for strong legs. So my legs were strong as shit. And it's a little demoralizing because I work out my legs every week. And everything has gotten stronger for me. All of my lifts have gone up, except for my legs, which have dramatically gone down. So I think a lot of that weight I put on will be in my legs. I think when I start eating again, the weight will come back on. I'll put some muscle back on into my legs. So, yeah, but man, it was demoralizing losing. Like, you go to the gym, you work out, all your lifts are going up except legs, which go down, which have consistently gone down for, well, they aren't going down anymore. They've went back up since they went down, but I don't do anywhere close to that, what I used to do. I mean, I'm not bullshitting you. I really would do 500 pounds, 30 reps, slow, low and slow for like 5 sets, man. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to get that back. I'm not expecting to get that kind of leg strength back, because your body's not retarded. Your body's not going to, like, my legs had to be that strong to carry around all the weight I was carrying around. So, anyway, I'm rambling. I don't think anybody gives a fuck about how strong my legs used to be. So I'd like to get my weight back up to something respectable. But anyway, that's all I've got for New Year's resolutions. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I put out a new Crowfall Templar video. Be sure to check that out. I put it out, and I don't think it went to the sub boxes, because typically my Crowfall videos do much better than this one did. I don't know if people just didn't give a shit. Like, maybe people just didn't care. But I put out a new video. I think a lot of you guys probably didn't see it. So, check that out. There's theory crafting about the Templar. We got some juicy new info about it, and some of the abilities and how they work. I'm really looking forward to that class. There's a strong chance I'll be playing that one. That class, it looks pretty dope. In other good news, Virginia Tech, man, it's a good time to be a Hokie fan. Virginia Tech won the Belk Bowl, and they were down 28-0 at the half. Down 28, I believe. What was the final score? Let me look it up here. Virginia Tech score. They were down 24. So it was 0-24 at the end of the half. And the Virginia Tech was just looking shitty as fuck. And they came back and won the game with 35 unanswered points. It was incredible to watch. And then Virginia Tech beat Duke in basketball like the next day. So good time to be a Virginia Tech fan. That was fun to watch. And I got some funny news coming out of the Belk Bowl. So for you European guys or whatever, people that are watching other countries, I don't know if Belk is international, but there's a store called Belk, Belk, and they sponsored this bowl game, the Belk Bowl. And one of the players for Arkansas got suspended from the team for shoplifting from Belk. Got shoplifted from the store that is sponsoring the bowl game. That's just hilarious. So the way this happened is Belk gave all of the players from both teams a $450 gift card to spend at Belk. And this guy thought, I guess that wasn't enough, so he spent his $450 and then attempted to steal more shit from Belk and got caught, and now he couldn't play in the Belk Bowl, and they lost. And he was their starting tight end, who was an NFL prospect. Like, this is going to cost this dude an insane amount of money. I'm sure he'll still probably get drafted in the NFL if he's good enough, but it probably lowered his value. Like, this might have cost him $1 million, a few $100,000 if it, lowers his. If one team says, you know what, we're gonna pass on this guy now, and he drops down to the next round, or more teams pass on him, that just lowers his value. So what a fucking idiot, man! What an idiot to shoplift from Belk when you're gonna play in the Belk Bowl, and they gave you $450 already. Jesus, when's it enough? Fucking A, man. Fucking A. Let me get some of this water. All right. Well, we started 2017 off with a bang. 39 dead in Istanbul from a guy that dressed up as Santa Claus. The religion of peace strikes again. Jesus Christ, dude. What can you say? What can you say other than more of the same shit from the same fucking people? Alright, let's change the subject. This is something I wanted to do on, I think, 2 podcasts ago, but I just never got around to it. Let's see here. Podcast bookmarks. This is a thing that people were doing called NotMyYouTube, a discussion about success regrets on YouTube. And there's 11 questions here that people want YouTubers to answer. I believe that's, yeah. Okay, so there's 11 questions. I figured I'd answer these 11 questions. Number 1, how do you find out about new videos? Typically from the homepage. I'm not gonna lie, I get a lot of my videos from the suggested videos. YouTube does suggest a lot of bullshit, but I'll be honest, they have suggested me some good shit, and I found a lot of new people that I really enjoy from the YouTube suggestions. So I'm not completely hating on YouTube doing suggestions, because they've done a pretty good damn job, in my opinion, at least for me personally. Maybe that's because I'm a fairly active user and I subscribe to a lot of people, and YouTube's got a lot of data to work with in my particular case. But what I hate is that new videos, all of the videos that all the people you're subscribed to should show up on the fucking homepage. That's what I hate. Yes, YouTube, you can suggest me new videos, that's great. But have them separated. Don't have subscriptions and recommended like clusterfuck together in this retarded mess on the default landing page. I get that you have a subscriptions tab, but man, I feel like you guys just need to have like the subscriptions on one side and then the recommended on the other side or something, because I like both, and I'd like both to be in the same place. So anyway, that's the first question. What feature of the site do you miss? What feature of the site do I miss? What have they taken away? I miss how networks used to work. Like, being in a network used to be pretty badass when it came to content ID stuff, but that's kind of a selfish thing. What are they taking away that, I guess some of the channel customization that used to be there is gone. But to be honest, I think the new YouTube channels are better than the old ones used to be. The old ones were a fucking mess. I don't know. I guess I don't miss that much. I think they've made a video responses is an easy one to say, but video responses for the most part were pretty shitty. But I guess I missed that a little bit. I mean, why not allow people to have the option to post videos? Like, I never really got why they took that away in the first place. So I guess I'll say video responses. What is my least favorite trend on YouTube? The clickbait has gotten fucking ridiculous to the point to where it's become meta and almost like a cool thing to do, where people like have who can make the biggest clickbait title and thumbnail. Like, it's like a thing where like these vloggers will like intentionally try to make their stuff as clickbait as possible because the fans are actually enjoying it, and people will like go in the comments and be like, the clickbait game is strong, yo. The 10,000 degree knife thing, I don't hate that, but goddamn is that everywhere right now. Like, that's all over my suggested video. I made the mistake of clicking on one video with the 10,000 degree knife cutting into, I can't remember what it was. I think it was like a watermelon or some shit. And it was pretty cool, right? But then my entire fucking page for the next like month is full of these 10,000 degree knife videos. And I'm sure you guys know what the fuck that is. Because you've probably seen it too. Another thing I don't like is the general, like, the channels that are dedicated to shitting on people. Like when I made that Hansel response, like the Hansel exposed response video. Those channels that all they do is shit on people are fucking cancer. And I'm not talking about Drama Alert. I'm not talking about the Drama Alert where he's just talking about shit that happens and he's not like specifically targeting certain people. Because I find that entertaining, because that's just the news. Well, the internet drama, the internet YouTube drama news. Let's not. I think news is a little too prestigious to say, but the YouTube drama news. But the channels that are just about like trying to destroy people and expose them are fucking cancer. And again, I'm not, and I've said this in the past. I'm not against people making those videos every now and then when it's necessary. I'm not one of these people that's like, YouTube needs to be positive all the time. But when your entire channel is that, it's fucking sad. What is the most drastic thing you've done for views/subs? I think I've done some clickbaity kind of shit, but nothing too crazy. The biggest thing I did was the giveaways. When YouTube giveaways were fucking popular, well, they're still popular, but when YouTube giveaways were a good way to make your video popular, I did that like crazy. I gave away so many Razor Nagas and so much shit I used to give away back in 2010 and 2011. And people used to think I did it like out of the kindness of my heart. No, I did it because it made my videos popular as fuck, and I made more money. That's back when YouTube used to monetize really well. Back when YouTube ads used to be the shit. But I'd spend, I'd make a video, and I'd give away like a $25 Steam gift card or some shit, right? And all you gotta do to win the Steam gift card is leave a like and add this video to your favorites and leave a comment down below, and you'll have a chance to win this $25 Steam gift card. And I do that, and I'd buy the Steam card and I'd give it away. But the all the likes and all the favorites would make that video super relevant and super popular, and I'd make way more than $25 off the video. I'd make like hundreds of dollars off the video, right? And only spend $25 on the scene. Like, so people thought, and people loved it. This was a victimless crime. They ended up fixing this little YouTube exploit, but it was a victimless crime. Made a lot of my videos pretty popular, and people liked it. They got free shit. My videos got more popular and didn't hurt anybody really. So that was probably the most dramatic thing. Do I have any regrets on YouTube? I don't. This is the fifth question. Do I have any regrets? when it comes to content strategy or personal. I could have been a little bit less hard-headed when it came to like quitting WoW and quitting things. Like, I'm very, very hard-headed when it comes to like, if a game shits on me, I'm fucking done. Like, I don't transition. I'm either there or I'm not. And that is not a very good way to go about things when it comes to YouTube, because you end up having a lot of people just unsubscribe. And what I did with WoW was I just got fed up with World of Warcraft's bullshit back in Cataclysm, and I quit the game for a long time. And I flat out told people, like, I'm quitting WoW. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. I could have been probably a little bit more graceful there, and I could have like slowly transitioned out of WoW into something else. Maybe that would have helped. But then part of me is like, fuck that, dude. I'm not that kind of person. And if you don't like me, then fuck you and leave, right? So I don't know if that's really a regret. I mean, it probably would have helped. But so many people end up getting trapped trying to do that. Like, they'll try to slowly transition out of a game and they never end up doing it. Whereas when I just hard fast, like, I'm fucking done. And I was done for years. I didn't really... Legion was the first time I really came back to the game and gave it a good try again and put out some serious content. I fucked around in MOP. No, I think I lasted like a week in MOP. In Warlords, I fucked around for a little bit, but not really. And Legion, I actually enjoyed a decent bit, but I'm just sick of WoW. So I could have been better about that. I guess my biggest regret is not really a regret, but my early videos were just terrible. And a lot of that was because everyone's videos back in the day were terrible. But if for some reason, I have no control over this, but I started YouTube when I was really young, and I wish I would have started YouTube when I was older, and I was a little bit more well-spoken and a little bit more, I don't know, I guess just smarter. Because I look back at like some of the people that are in their 30s now that started YouTube when I started YouTube, and their old videos are bad, right? They're terrible videos, but they're not cringy. Like, my videos are cringy because it's me when I'm like 15. I'm like, hey guys, it's me, Zyback, and here's another terrible fucking horribly produced video. Hope you guys enjoy. And you guys fucking loved it. So, I guess that's not, I guess these aren't really regrets. How has my channel changed since 1 year ago? It fucking hasn't. Same shit, really. That's part of the problem. Yeah, I'll be honest, my shit has not been that exciting for a while now, so hopefully that'll change. I realize I'm saying this, and a lot of you guys are going to comment, like, I still like your videos, Zyback. I watch the podcast every week, or I've been watching for a long time, and I like your stuff. Yeah, that's fine, and I get that you like my stuff, but I don't think you're excited about my stuff like you maybe used to be back when I was, on that cutting edge with WoW or WildStar or SWTOR. I'm not on the cutting edge of gaming right now because I'm not fucking playing any video games, really. And I want to get back to that. I want to get back to the, hopefully I'm going to put out a Crowfall video and be like, whoa, I never thought about doing this in that weird way. So I'm looking forward to getting back to that kind of stuff, as well as doing the podcast and the regular stuff. So, anyway. What do you do to support your favorite creators? I just watch them, mainly. I mean, the best way to support your favorite people is to watch them, and if they've got a donation link, donate to them, subscribe to them on Twitch. I mean, it sounds super shallow, but I mean, most people have a donation link in some way, or a Patreon or something like that, and I mean, that really is the best way to support somebody if you enjoy their shit, is to, throw them $1 or $2. You don't have to donate a lot, I've always said that. If you donate like $1 or $2 to somebody, that's like you watching like 1,000 ads. So that is the best way to do it in terms of bang for your buck, I guess, quite literally. But yeah, like the whole there's a culture right now of people like donating like thousands of dollars to people, which I think is a little absurd. Like, people have donated a lot of money to me in the past, but I'd much rather have people donate smaller amounts of money, more. I'd rather have more people donate smaller amounts than have, like, one guy donate hundreds of dollars. But you can't really control that, and I do appreciate all the people that have donated in the past. Occasionally I'll get an email and be like, some guy randomly donates, like, $5, and I always send people emails whenever they do that, because it's weird, but yeah, that's the best way to do it. But yeah, just watch the videos, man. I do this shit. I would, if I didn't make any money off YouTube, I would still do it. Maybe not as much, but I'd still do it because I don't think you can ever really quit this thing when you get into it because you get addicted to the interaction. But yeah, no, I'd hopefully like to make some more money at it this year and hopefully bring some excitement back to my channel. How do you define success? That's a fucking vague question on here. I guess they mean success on YouTube. I wouldn't even say views anymore. I would say watch time. Watch time, that is the fucking most trippy statistic ever. I like that. I really like the YouTube. That's my favorite thing. That's one of my favorite YouTube changes they've ever made was incentivizing videos for watch time, and because that was one of the best change. Like right now, if you make good videos on YouTube, you will become a popular YouTuber. That's not always been the case, but becoming a popular YouTuber is easier now than it's ever been because of the way they incentivize watch time. You can't game the system anymore. Likes and comments and all that shit doesn't really matter like it used to anymore. The main thing is people watching the videos. So if you make good videos, you will get popular. But a lot of people think they make good videos and they fucking don't. That's why people think the game is rigged, but it's not. It's easier now than it's ever been. But how do I define success? I guess success on YouTube. People watching for long periods of time. When I look at my analytics and see that people have watched my videos for thousands of years, that's crazy. That's such a crazy, trippy statistic that if you add the 5 minutes this guy watched here and the 10 minutes this guy watches here, it adds up to like over 1,000 years. That's ridiculous. So I really like that stat. Number 9, are you happy? Yes. We kind of answered that earlier in the podcast, but yes. Why do I do YouTube and how long do I think I'll keep doing it? I do YouTube for the... You know what? I'm gonna go off-road on this question. That's kind of... It's so weird. Like, why did I start this? Like, I know why I started it. Because I started it because people were asking me to make a feral PvP video. Because at the time I was the number 3 feral in... I believe that's when I started making videos. I was the number 3 feral in the world when it came to overall 3v3 rank. I was the number 3 feral in the US, and the US happened to have the highest, ladder. So it's hard to say if I was number 3 in the world, but I was the 3rd highest rated in the world, whatever that means. But at that point, I was number 3 in the world, and people were asking for feral PvP videos because despite, there weren't people fucking making them. Like, that, nobody made feral videos because there weren't very many ferals that played at that level. So I had a very unique niche to fill. So I started making videos, and it took off. I got popular, and I remember in BGs, like, I would upload those Battleground videos and be going, like, 75-0, and that was back when feral druids were so fucking OP in Battlegrounds, where you could just never die, because you had pretty... Well, it wasn't that the self-healing was good, it's just that it was very effective, because you could do it on the run, you could do triple life bloom, rejuve, regrowth, and then you had, like, 1 second... You had instant roots, like, you had Nature's Grasp, 3 charges of that, and then you had Entangling Roots that could be instant with dude, ferals were just gods in BGs, and I was super fucking good at solo queuing BGs, and I had the sickest gear in the game, and that was back when, right now BGs are normalized where everyone's got the same gear. Back then they fucking weren't. So I had, I was good at the game, I had, ferals were OP in BGs, and I had sick gear. So I would just shit on everybody, and I'd upload these videos, and people were like, "What? How did this guy is a one-man killing machine?" It was fucking cool. So that was fun. And do I think... I don't know, that didn't answer the question at all. Why do I do YouTube? I do it for the interaction, I guess. I like getting a lot of comments. I don't get any comments anymore. I feel like everybody that watches my videos is eating nachos. Like, they're eating nachos and they can't type a comment. I mean, when you guys leave comments, it makes me so happy. and this is not, I'm not like begging for comments for the YouTube algorithm or anything like that. Likes and comments and that shit, they don't really matter anymore. It's all about watch time. But I just like seeing them. I like when I read the comments on the podcast and you guys ask interesting questions and I can give answers. So yeah, I'd like to get more of those. God damn it. Leave some more comments. Shit. And do I think I'll keep doing YouTube? Yep. I don't think I'll ever quit this. I don't think I'll ever quit being a video content creator in some way. Maybe I'll evolve. Maybe I'll slowly become a live streamer more over time, or slowly, I don't know, maybe I'll make less videos in the future and do podcasting more, or maybe I'll make more videos and do less podcasting. I don't know. I think I'll always be some form of a content creator because I don't think I can get away from it. I think I'm just hooked on the feedback that I get. So yeah, I mean, I guess I've sort of, I'm hoping that this year will be the revamp of me making more videos, because I'll be honest, I'm not making anywhere near the amount of videos I want to make, because my genre, the MMORPG genre is fucking shit right now. And I'm not interested in any games super hardcore. Like, yeah, I like Overwatch, but that's not a game I'm gonna know life. That's not a game I'm gonna like really, really, really get into. It's a good game, I like it, but MMOs, that's my shit. Crowfall, that looks like a game I could really fucking dive deep into and theory craft, and I'm looking forward to it. So, moving on to the next question. Has YouTube made your life better or worse? Man, I feel bad for the motherfuckers that answer that and say it made their life worse. I don't know if anyone that YouTube can make their life worse. Like, what kind of path would you have to go down to make your life worse? I guess maybe if you're like the iFly Illini guy that got caught like jerking off on stream, and people sent it to his like superior officers and he got kicked out of the Air Force, that would suck. But I think obviously in my case better. Clearly, YouTube has YouTube, Twitch, whatever you want to call what I do, has given me a lot of crazy opportunities. Got to meet some cool people. Got to do some cool things. And having a little internet army of people that follow you is fun as shit, especially when you're doing shit that's a little devious, you know, crashing servers and I don't know, calling people like, hey, restaurant food, this restaurant has terrible service, send them a call. And fucking like hundreds of you guys call them. This shit's hilarious, dude. Having a little army of people that, you know, can do your bidding. I'm not saying you guys are like my servants or anything, but it's fun to do shit like that. So better, yeah. YouTube is the shit. Yeah, it's definitely made my shit better. So anyway, let's move it on. Somebody's blowing my phone up here. That was a better topic than I thought it would be. Let's move it on. Oh yeah, let's I have a few. This is just unrelated. I just want to break up the serious topics with some shit I found on the internet. So we talked about Smashmouth memes earlier on a previous episode, and here is a video of Trump singing All Star by Smashmouth. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but it's pretty fantastic.
Somebody once told me the world is going to roll me. I ain't the sharps in the head. She was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb and the shape of China under her forehead. Well, years are coming, and they are stop coming dead. The rule and I hit the running didn't make sense. Now to live for fun, your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. So
yeah, so that's pretty fantastic. I'll leave a link to that. I love when people make that shit. There's also one with Overwatch. The secret behind Overwatch is competitive matchmaking, and this guy just, you know, strung together, I guess, all of the Overwatch developer updates into some ridiculous shit.
You know that they are attracted to.
Yeah, so here's just a clip from this.
You know, more and more and more, and we want to really create this feel and excitement for you guys of, wow, who knows what character will be gay the next time I log in. For example, we have a lot of feelings between Reaper and Torbjorn. So we all know that they are attracted to each other, but does Torbjorn have the hardware to please Reaper? I apologize for not giving all the details right now, but we're going to have a lot of explanations coming very soon. But
it's fucking fantastic, dude. That kind of shit must take so long to make. It must be insane. So, yeah. Funny shit. Figured I'd link to those 2 videos. I think those are the only 2 videos that I wanted to talk about this week. There's another one, WoW losing... Apparently people are quitting WoW now. Again, in Legion. This is a video that I think Asmongold made this video talking about. People are, like the YouTube content creators are losing interest in WoW. My whole stance on that is WoW is the problem with a game like WoW is it's gotten so... it's so popular. Well, it's not that it's so popular anymore. It's just that it's been out for so long that the game has gotten formulaic. You know what's going to happen. You know an expansion's going to come out. There's going to be some new dungeons, some new raids, some new reputations. You're going to level up and whatever. And it's not, there's no excitement there because you know what's going to be in the game before it's in the game. It's all data mined, and people have just figured out how to game the game, essentially. An expansion comes out and it's not like, oh, I wonder how I'm going to play my character now. It's like, nope. This is the DPS rotation. This does this. This build is better than this because we ran it on simulations, and this is the best way to do this. Like, there's no sort of excitement there anymore. And again, jerking off Crowfall again, where Crowfall is going to have that excitement there because it's not as formulaic. There are fucking insane amounts of choices and builds, and there are choices that you make that don't have immediate impact. Like Siege, like speccing into Siege Warfare, like I talked about in my Crowfall skills video. There are choices that you make in Crowfall that aren't obvious. Like, it's very hard to put values on a lot of the choices you're going to make in Crowfall. Like, how do you value a guy that can glide? Like, gliding doesn't seem like it'd be that worthwhile most of the time. But the assassin can glide. Now, you could glide over a wall, and then that's a super high value play, but you give up some of your potential power to have that ability, whatever. There's a lot of like hard choices there, like Siege Warfare, another thing I talked about previously, where you could spend all of your time becoming a master of Siege Warfare, which is something that's not going to happen that frequently in Crowfall, but when it does, you're the shit, and you're the big dick on campus that maybe prevents your tower from getting taken. So, a lot of interesting choices. I'm really curious how it's going to play out. But I don't know how the fuck I got on that with content creators quitting WoW. I think people are just getting burned out. The game is fucking old. And I don't know what they can do to fix it, really. They've kind of dug themselves in a hole with a lot of the stuff that in my opinion would need to be changed, can't be changed because they've just gone a new direction with the game. You can't really go back and get those server communities back. Like, they made the game is so LFR, LFG, solo experience driven that you can't just rip all that shit away now. Like, that shit is what killed the game. Part of the reason of what killed the game, and you can't just undo it. So, it's tough out there, man. World of Warcraft is going to be an interesting case study for sure. When it comes to how the downfall of the game was because of features they put in. They put in these, convenience features, and it ultimately ruined the social aspect of the game, which is fucking crazy. And no one really saw it coming. Like, no one saw it coming when it came to the Dungeon Fighter. The Dungeon Fighter came out, and I think for the most part, everybody was happy with that, like the ability to queue up for dungeons. I remember when that came out, and I thought that was pretty legit. LFR, however, a lot of pushback there. A lot of people didn't like LFR, but they kept it in, and that was... I feel like if they could go back in time, I feel like Blizzard, if they could go back in time, they would not put those features in the game. So... Anyway, I don't want to ramble about WoW too much, because we've gone down that rabbit hole before. Speaking of MMOs, Amazon is working on a new MMO. Let me pull up this. This is a very short video. Amazon. Hopefully I can find it quickly. Is this one in English? Please be in English. Yeah, okay. This was... Alright, I'll play this really quickly. It's a short video. Amazon is working on a new MMO that looks... It's a sandbox MMO, and it's based in, I believe, 17th century America. So, like, it's alternate history of people going over to the new world. It's called New World, so essentially like the Christopher Columbus motherfuckers, but it's alternate history. So I'll play this video and I'll give you a decent idea of what it is.
New World is a huge open-ended sandbox game set in our take on 17th century colonial America. In this version of the world, the supernatural is real.
Everything that they were afraid of, everything that they hoped for, that they wanted to believe in, that they wish wasn't true, all of that stuff is real. And there are nature spirits out in the woods, and horrible things hide in the shadows. We talk about, the players are our content. They build villages and farms and towns and forts.
We say carve your own destiny, because you can play the game as you want to be an explorer and go explore this big world. Cool, do that. You want to be a soldier and protect people? Do that. You want to be a farmer?
These permanent spaces that they carve out of kind of this cursed monster haunted, hostile wilderness. Whatever they do with it and in it and to one another is really up to them.
Yeah, so that's the gist of it. That's all it is. By the way, there's not any more to the clip other than that. That video's audio was not the greatest, but yeah. So it's a new sandbox MMO being made by what the hell? OBS. Yeah, there we go. Being made by Amazon. And it's not going to be coming out for a long time, probably many, many years, because we don't know shit about it. But Amazon is becoming a pretty big game studio now. They're working on, I believe, 3 games now. One of them is a MOBA. The other one is like a survival DayZ style of game, sort of. Not really. It's kind of its own unique thing, but it's like a last man standing Hunger Games kind of thing, from my gathering of it. And the other game is an MMO. So, yeah, I wish them all the luck. I'm an MMO fan. And it's not... Dude, speaking of fucking shit, look at what YouTube is recommending. 10,000 Degree Knife versus Red Bull. This shit is fucking everywhere, dude. Anyway. Yeah, so Amazon's working on a new MMO. Probably not coming out for a while, but at least we have another AAA MMO in the works, which is something I was talking about on previous episodes, that there was not a big Western, US-made AAA MMO being developed for a long time there. After WildStar, that was basically it. All the rest of them were just like Asian trash. So I'm not super excited about the concept of New World with open world 70. I mean, it just seems like, I don't know. I guess I'm so pumped about Crowfall and all the decisions they've made, that seeing like some of the early design choices that New World has kind of made, like it seems like it's going to be like it's a sandbox MMO, but it looks like they're going to have like a world, like quests and shit. I don't know. I guess I'm just so pumped for Crowfall that's hard for me to say, but I wish them all the luck in the world. Moving on. Carrie Fisher died. That was the thing, and then her mom died like 24 hours later. Fucking A. And two things I wanted to pimp out here. On Netflix, there's a show called this is a show I started watching because I found it fucking fascinating, because I have been a part of this shit, and it's very fascinating watching it from the outside in. Friday Night Tykes. This is a show on Netflix about coaches and about like little league football teams, 8-year-old kids, and the coaches take it so fucking seriously, and it's hilarious and fascinating. So I really recommend you check out this show Friday Night Tykes, especially if you want to understand the football craze in the United States, especially in like Texas, where it's pretty next level. But yeah, no, I have lived this before as a player. I remember being a little kid playing football, and the coaches taking it, super fucking serious. They obviously didn't take it as seriously as these guys like have like Under Armour, like crazy like sponsors and shit. Our shit wasn't that crazy, but the coaches definitely took it seriously. And I remember like the parents always saying like the coaches are the problem with the football. And I remember as a kid, like football was the most important thing in the fucking world. And I didn't think it was ridiculous that the coaches would get that crazy upset. And when I played football, I remember coaches literally fighting, like fist fights with other coaches. And I remember like, yeah, you get him, coach. Fuck him up. Man. Oh, man, it was a good time. I think, ultimately, a lot of people will probably think it's a bad thing. But ultimately, I think it's a good thing that give kids something that they can get into and take seriously. Like, what's so bad about developing the discipline to show up for practice every day and really taking something seriously and putting in the work and the time to become excellent at something, which is essentially what they're doing with these little league football players. Like, these kids are fucking super good to be 8 years old, and I think a lot of people think of that as like unhealthy. Like, I guess you can debate whether football is a healthy game or not with the head injury shit, which it's fucking not healthy at all. It's, yeah, you probably are a little bit more retarded if you play football. But from a mindset, like from a developing youth, I think football is ultimately a healthy game, especially if it's taken seriously like that, because I don't know, it kind of makes you into a man. It gives you some work ethic and some good values there. Even though it is very ridiculous that people take this shit that seriously. So, I highly recommend you check out Friday Night Tykes. It is fucking fascinating. But maybe I'm biased just because I've lived through that shit. And the last thing is the Anthony Weiner documentary. I watched this on a whim, but it was also very fascinating with the Anthony Weiner scandal. This was the guy that accidentally tweeted out a picture of his dick on Twitter that was a congressman? Senator? Something like that. Something in the government. And he tweeted out a picture of his dick on Twitter on accident. And he was married and he was sexting with some other woman that wasn't his wife. And somehow accidentally tweeted that shit out. I have no idea. And this documentary covers his re-election campaign and like the difficulties and the struggles that he is going through with this whole Wienergate thing. And then the documentary, I guess they were filming it at just the right time. He did it again. Like, not only did he tweet a picture of his dick once, he got caught sexting some random chick again for the second time. And this documentary just goes through that whole shit show of that whole situation. And it is fascinating. So check out the Anthony Weiner documentary. I think it's on, I don't know what it's called. But I think it's Showtime. I'm sure you can just Google Anthony Weiner documentary and it'll come up. Let's find it. Yeah, it's just called Weiner. The thing is just called Weiner. Yeah. It's pretty fascinating though. Despite all that shit, like, he's kind of a likable guy. I don't know. Like, part of me kind of likes him just because, like, he's that much of a beast to, like, get caught doing all that shit, and where a lot of people would just say fuck it and not do politics anymore, he went for it. I mean, he didn't win re-election, spoiler alert. But, yeah, no, it's pretty good. So I recommend you check that out. Let's move on to the comments. I think I had them pulled up. Right? Fucking A, I closed out of it, I guess. Let's pull them back up. Let's see, comments from HiveMind57. Filtered by newest. Regarding the weight loss, I also quit sugar some time ago. Within the first couple of months, I lost 10 kilograms. It actually blew me away how fast the weight dropped, and I feel a lot better having done it. I also want to say, from a long-time viewer who's only recently started listening to your podcast, I really enjoy the solo podcasts. Thank you very much. I think you're doing great with it so far. Thank you. Working on getting better at this. It's hard, but yeah. I might be getting some guests here pretty soon, but Doing them solo, there's some pros and some cons, but I'm waiting to get some more analytical data to see if you guys are actually listening for longer now that I'm doing them solo, or not so much. Who knows? Let me know if you like the solo podcast versus the guests, and I'll kind of weigh it and see what people think. Yo, Zyback, literally a no-name, stream on Twitch for kicks and giggles. Now, wanted to get started on a podcast, and we have some overlapping interests. Okay, this guy wants to be a co-host. I'll check you out, dude. I don't know. You didn't link your Twitch channel, though, so it's going to be hard. Don't sleep on Star Citizen. In 20 years, when it finally releases, it's going to be amazing. So, yeah, that's the thing with Star Citizen. The fucking game is never gonna come out, dude. Like, this is where, like, too much iteration is a bad thing. A lot of people, this is one of the things that I find so annoying about when people say this about games. The game was released too early. The game was released too early. They rushed the game. No, they fucking didn't. That is not the case most of the time. Look, especially when it comes to persistent online games, I just don't think that's the case. Like with WildStar, for example. WildStar, a lot of people say the game came out too early. No, it fucking didn't. The game did not come out too early at all. The game, if they would have waited 6 months for the game to release, the same shit would have happened. The reason WildStar didn't do well is because it didn't have... They focused too much on the hardcore content and not enough on giving a solo player something to do. Like, everything was group content. And everything was pretty difficult. There wasn't enough easy content for people to do. The game just beats you into the fucking dirt if you weren't a good player. If you were a good player and you were a raider, that was the fucking greatest game of all time. For sure. I had so much fucking fun with WildStar for many, many months. But I was the person they made the game for. If you were a player that, only played for an hour and a half a night, the game fucking sucked for you. Like, if you were one of those people that only played WildStar for a short period of time and tried to play it an hour here, an hour there, yeah, the game probably got pretty boring for you. So, that wouldn't have changed. That would not have changed if the game got delayed 6 months. Because they just didn't develop the game that way. And another thing is that you're not going to know what changes need to be made to the game until after it's released to the public. So everybody likes to think the game's, this is ultimately what I'm trying to say. The game's not going to be perfect. No matter how many times they delay it, no matter how many times they iterate on shit, it's never going to be perfect. So you need to get the game in the hands of the players so you can make the changes needed, because you're not going to be able to predict the changes that need to be made. It's just not possible. So Star Citizen doing all of this iteration after iteration after iteration, wanting everything to be absolutely perfect, and spending all this fucking money and all this fucking time is going to kill the game, because the game is going to come out. It's not going to live up to the expectations, because the expectations are ridiculous because they've delayed it so many times. And I think it's going to be a highly polished, very pretty, ultimately hollow experience that doesn't last very long, because they've spent all this fucking time iterating on, oh my god, the guy walks up the ladder like this instead of like this. It's just fucking, it's ridiculous. So the fact that Crowfall is going to go through a full development cycle. They're going to develop the whole fucking game, and it's going to release before Star Citizen releases, is ridiculous, dude. They have been making this fucking game for so goddamn long, and there's no semblance of it even coming out, like, anytime soon. Like, the game is nowhere even close to a full game. Like, this, Jesus Christ. Ryan Mahaffey says he has a pretty big loose skin problem. I got so fucking lucky with that, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I got so fucking lucky with that. I was legitimately worried about that when I was losing weight. I was like, am I gonna have this fucking problem? And I don't. Maybe my skin is looser than it would be if I wasn't such a fat motherfucker in the past. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe this forearm skin is slightly looser than it would have been if I wasn't fat, but it's not like hanging off. My biceps You know, they don't have like fat or skin hanging off my triceps or anything like that. When I shake my arm, there's not like skin, you know, flapping or anything like that. So I got really lucky with that. I do have some stretch marks, but they faded away quite a bit. Ironically, the most serious stretch marks I have, I don't know if this will show up on the webcam, are actually on my biceps. Apparently this is a common thing that people get when they start working out, especially on their biceps, is because since your bicep is not a muscle that is used frequently in the real world, like think about going through your day-to-day life, even when you pick up stuff, like let's say you help your buddy move and you're moving furniture, you're not really using your biceps to move furniture. You're grabbing stuff like this and, I don't know, hugging it and moving it, or like carrying it like that. Shit like that. So your bicep, when you start working out, just grows like crazy because it's not used to getting worked. And when you start doing all these isolation movements on your bicep, it fucking blows up, right? So I've got these stretch marks on my fucking bicep from working out, not from being fat. So that's fun, but apparently that's very common, so I don't feel too bad about it. But yeah, I've got these goddamn fucking tiger claw marks across my shit now. But I don't think you can see them. They're not that visible. Maybe you can. No idea. But yeah, they're a thing. Zyback, every time you describe it, you want to see in Star Wars. Oh, okay. Wait. What? Am I on the right shit? I swear I read that comment last week. Oh my god, I'm on the comments from fucking last. Oh my god. Wait, these are new comments though. These are new comments. These are comments I didn't answer, so I don't feel too bad. Yeah, somebody was like, yeah, I was like, I read that comment. I was like, that sounds familiar, because it fucking was. Okay. Those were new comments. Those first ones were new. So, here we go. Don't beat yourself up too much about the podcast getting stale. It's nice to hear you rambling. I think someone spiked the cookies, lol. Why are you talking down this episode? I thought it was fine. Well, I'm glad you guys liked it. You know the sugar rush is an urban myth. It's all in your head. No, it's fucking not. No, it's fucking not. There's a reason why all these pre-workouts and shit have tons of sugar and tons of caffeine in them, because sugar and caffeine work. I'm very sensitive to sugar. I 100% hate these SJW videos blaming white/cis guys for everything in America and saying all white straight people are racist, homophobic, whatever. He said the problem with the Democratic Party, a group made by millions and millions of people, is people like this in this video, a small minority. It's no different than the cunts in the video blaming white guys. You see the... okay, so I'm trying to see what this guy is saying. I'm sure I'm not reading this out loud. He said the problem with the Democratic Party, a group made up of millions and millions of people, is the people like this in this video, a small minority. It's no different than the cunts in the video blaming white guys, a group made up of millions and millions of people for the actions of some shitty white people, a small minority. No, I think you completely misunderstood what he's saying. I'm a hypocrite for saying that. No, I'm saying that's a problem. I'm saying that's a problem, not the problem. Maybe I did say the problem, but essentially what I'm saying is that's hurting the party. The SJW craziness is hurting the Democratic Party because so many people are so fed up with that bullshit that they went and voted for Trump because of it. Whereas a lot of people that are conservative, that would vote conservative and have conservative values, don't vote conservative because of all the fucking God-toting, God told me to invade Iraq, fuck the gays, all that bullshit. Yes, those are small minorities on both parties. But yeah, they fucking influence people a lot. That's what I was saying. I'm not saying all Democrats are like that. I don't know. I think you misunderstood me. Invite Palav to the podcast. I'm dying to hear what kind of stuff he has to say. I don't know who that is. What mic/mount is that? It's the Audio-Technica AT 2020. Do you realize that the sun doesn't actually come up? It's just an illusion caused by the earth rotating. Yes. You're going to give yourself diabetes or some shit, I would see a doc. No, I'm not going to see a doctor. I just ate too much fucking sugar. And my body isn't used to that shit. If Legion was a thing a couple of years earlier, everybody would have loved it, but I guess it's too late. After a few expansions, a lot of people... blah, blah, blah. Yep. I've been saying this for a long time. If Legion would have came out after Wrath of the Lich King, World of Warcraft would have 15 million subscribers. If the game went Classic, BC, Wrath, Legion, the game would be so much more popular than it is right now. Because Legion is ultimately not that fucking bad. It's just that it's surrounded, it just engulfed by shit predecessing it for so long. Cataclysm was terrible. Warlords was fucking terrible. Or, no, Cataclysm was terrible. Mop was terrible. Fucking Warlords was really bad. And Legion is actually okay. So yeah, if they went from Wrath to Legion, man, oh, dude, the game would be huge. There are problems with Legion, but ultimately, it's an improvement. I think Legion is a flat-out improvement from Wrath of the Lich King in most regards. If Legion didn't have like LFR if Legion came out without the server communities being dead, like if they didn't make those same mistakes they made in Cataclysm, if LFR never became a thing, which did in Cataclysm, if the cross-server shit never became a thing, which did in Cataclysm, if the Dungeon Finder wasn't a thing, I think that the game would be fucking so popular because the Mythic Plus, that's fucking great. The artifact weapon, I don't know so much about that, but like having those daily quests and world events and world shit to do was cool as fuck. There was a lot of stuff to do in Legion. So if they had that with server community still being good, man, oh my god, the game would be fucking amazing. Only 5 cookies, ... bruh. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Is he supposed to saying 5 is a lot or 5 is a little bit? I don't know. They were small ass cookies, man. They were good though. I can totally understand the sugar thing. I've had a very similar experience around Christmas time, eating a bunch of sugar after not eating it in almost a year. Didn't get hyper though. Made me feel sluggish. Yeah, I got fucking hyper as shit. So I bet, can you give me some tips on weight loss? Awesome transformation you made. I'm looking to make my own. I respond to this saying, I will make videos when I finish my cut. So, the number one piece of weight loss advice, it's simple, but it's the calories in, calories out. That's the only thing that matters when it comes to losing weight, is eating less calories than you consume, or eating less calories than you use up in a day. And it's very easy to figure this out. I'll do it right now for you on the podcast. What you need to do is Google BMR calculator. And what you do is you click on this BMR calculator here. You type in your weight. So I'm 6'5" and I weigh it's like 195. I'm bouncing around a little bit right now. And I am I'm actually 23. Fuck. I'm 23, right? Dude, do you ever do that shit where you're like, wait, how fucking old am I? Yeah, no, I'm 23. I don't know why I put 22. Jesus Christ, dude. That's embarrassing. I can't be the only one that does that shit where you forget how old you are and you like put a year younger than you. I haven't had a birthday in a long time. Like this, it's embarrassing. So I'm 6'5", 195 pounds, 23-year-old male. Calculate BMR. Boom. So this is a rough estimate, but my BMR is 2,102. That's how many calories it takes for me to exist in a... I've got a phone call. I will have to edit this out. All right, we're back. So I have a BMR of 2,102. What this number means, this is the basal metabolic rate. This is how many calories I burn by just existing. If I laid in bed all day and stayed at a perfect temperature and didn't fucking move, this is the absolute minimum amount of calories it takes for me to exist by not doing anything. Now, what you do is you take this number and then you add and then you multiply it by essentially, I know this just because I fucking know this, but essentially what you do is you take this number, so mine is 2,102, and then you multiply it by your activity rate, which is variable, right? So if you're inactive, you multiply it by, I believe, 1.1, and that'll take me up to 23. This is basically somebody that lays in bed all day, like 2,300 calories if you lay in bed all day. I think it's actually 1.2. So let's do 2102 times 1.2. This is if you're like super fucking lazy. So if I was super fucking lazy and didn't do shit, didn't work out, didn't run, didn't do anything like that, it takes me 2,500 calories to exist. If I eat less than that, I will lose weight. However, I don't even factor in this shit. I don't factor in my exercise at all. What I do when I'm cutting, which might be a little extreme, is I eat less than my BMR. So I for sure lose weight, pretty dramatically. When you eat less than your BMR, you lose weight pretty significantly. So if I had to be honest with my activity rate, it'd be like I work out 3 times a week, and I'm fairly active at my job. So let's do 2102 times 1.5. And that's about 3,100 calories. So that's probably where I'm at realistically. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. So if I eat less than that, I'll probably lose weight if I had to guess. But I don't do that because I don't want to factor in my exercise because that's variable. I eat less than 2102. So if you eat less than your BMR, you will fucking lose weight probably pretty rapidly, which is what I do. Right now on my cut, I eat 1,000 calories a day, which I've been... I have a 4-day weekend coming here, so I'll be doing that 4 days in a row here. On the weekdays, I eat more on the weekdays just because of work, and there's some temptation there that I kind of give into sometimes. But on the weekends, I try to eat I try to stick to the 1,000 calories of just chicken and broccoli, and you lose weight fucking rapidly because at the end of this 4-day weekend, I'm gonna have an 8,000 calorie deficit or something like that. So yeah. It's that's how it works. So that's my number one piece of advice for losing weight is to calculate your BMR and eat less than your BMR and don't factor in exercise. Don't factor that shit in. And then he followed up and asked, how long would it be? I'm trying to start my cut today because I'm fat and I don't like it. Any tips, 1 or 2 as a teaser video? I'll respond to this real quick. Calculate your BMR and then eat less than that number. You will lose weight pretty... What's the right word here? Pretty fast, I guess. I was going to use a bigger word, a more complicated word. I was going to say like dramatically or some shit. Pretty fast. If you... Sorry about that. I just want to respond to this guy. Calculate your BMR and then eat less than that number. You'll lose weight pretty fast if you do that. Bam. I linked into the shit. Alright. Hoping the Amazon gaming project for New World gets us pumped for something worth a damn again. Hoping for some sort of insight of what to expect in 2017, but I won't hold my breath. Yeah, I wouldn't expect New World. I don't think we're going to get any news about that anytime soon. At all. But I hope I'm wrong. What's my opinion on the Final Fantasy MMO, FFXIV? They have a new expansion coming out, but I don't think you've talked about it before. Yeah, it's like martial arts or some shit. I don't know. I don't know enough about it to give an honest opinion, other than I'm excited for Crowfall, and that's really all I'm worried about right now. I like this. I hope it's a new series. Zyback shows you stuff from the internet. Yeah, I want that to be a thing where I show off funny shit I find online every now and then. Love how the templates turned out for PvP. Horrid frowny face. I honestly think the older we get, we quit playing MMOs all night. It just ain't as fun as it was when we were 13. I played for 7 years. All my teenage years, basically regret it. I have a very different outlook than you, dude. I definitely don't regret playing MMOs. I had to dude. Me playing MMOs changed my... World of Warcraft changed my fucking life. World of Warcraft is one of the best things ever fucking happened to me, man. So much cool shit has happened to me due to that game. And a lot of it's not related. World of Warcraft made me relevant in WildStar. World of Warcraft made me relevant... the things that World of Warcraft did, while they might not be directly related, are indirectly related. A lot of the good life choices I've made thus far have been because of World of Warcraft indirectly, because World of Warcraft has, allowed me to be friends with people that are really successful and smart, because I've I don't know, I've been in a position to where I can, talk to a lot of people. And World of Warcraft is a lot of the reason because of that. So, fucking love WoW, dude. Even though I hate the game now, and I shit on the game frequently, and the game needs to die, I fucking appreciate the shit out of the game and what it's done for me. Bruh, you slept on my question. Please answer in the next podcast. For the next podcast, you said you weren't super satisfied with your current success. Is there something you want to pursue outside of what you're already doing or pursuing? If not, what sounds cool to you career-wise? Anyways, thanks. Yeah, okay. The rest of it's, yeah. I'm not super satisfied with my current success because I'm ambitious and I want more of it. I just want more success in the things that I'm already doing well at. I want to make more money. I want to have a better YouTube channel. And I want to, be in better shape. And all three of those things I do better than most people right now. But I want to do it better because I want to improve for the sake of improving. I am not satisfied with it because I'm not content. I'm not resting on my laurels. I'm not... that's the thing. I'm not unhappy, but I'm also this is the ground floor. So that's my stance on it. And I need to stay hungry. I'm young right now, but when I'm in my 40s and 50s and hopefully I'm more financially independent and I don't have to give a shit as much, maybe I'll be able to relax and kick back and enjoy things a little more. But for right now, it's from a compounding interest point of view, I need to be pretty ambitious and pretty aggressive, while I still can, while I'm still young and still fresh and still hungry. Zyback, you left the Old Republic before 2.0 dropped. If you come back, there's a ton of new stuff. Hop on the EH server. You don't have to pay for X packs now. Just sub and you're good to go. Yeah, SWTOR is cool, but I don't think so. I think I'm done. I've also heard that they stopped developing like the PvE. Like there's no raids anymore, and the PvP is weird now. I don't know. I'd have to look into it, but I probably won't go back to SWTOR. I just don't really want to put the time in for it, and I just Kiyosuke says yo 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 as usual. Got any New Year's resolutions? Yep, we've already talked about that. SWTOR single player leveling. Yeah, the single player shit is cool, but I don't play single player games. The Redbox articles from 2009. Yeah, yep. As for SWTOR, the game is way better than it was 5 years ago. Just no one is playing it. I can't get people to play if I paid their subs. Their loss. Damn, if you can't get people to pay, even if you paid for their sub, then that's not very good. The sugar thing, I imagine it's because you went from none to loads. Yep, that's why that happened. MTV cucks are cancerous. I miss the chubby Zyback. I feel deep inside, this got upvoted 5 times. I feel deep inside that Jesse Cox is a PC fag who wouldn't mesh with the podcast. Maybe, I don't know the guy that well, so I don't know shit about him. He said some pretty PC stuff. Cartmania Jess would be great with WoW. I don't know who Cartmania Jess is. I know who WoW Krendor is. Amazon's working on a new MMO. Yep, we talked about that. Zyback, have you noticed any mental performance since you dropped sugar from your diet? No, I don't think so. Anyway, I'd have to. The timeline is too long. I gave up sugar like over a year ago, really. So it's hard for me to say because it's been a while. But I didn't feel like shit. Like a lot of people, like when they're fat, they're like, or when they lose a lot of weight, they're like, I feel so much better. When I was fat, I was miserable. Like I wasn't like that at all. I did sleep more than I do now. I used to be able to sleep for like 12 hours a night, which I don't do that anymore. I do that sometimes. Like I work 4 days a week, so I've got Fridays off. And on Friday, like that Friday morning, I'll sleep a lot and I'll catch up on some sleep. But on Saturday and Sunday, I don't end up sleeping as much. I still get a good 8 hours, but I definitely don't sleep like 10 to 12 hours every single night like I used to when I was a fat motherfucker. But yeah, no, I don't recall having any downsides to it. It's probably the saturated fat, not the sugar. No, it's not. I eat tons of fucking fat, and I don't have any issues with that. I went on a heavy cut for a few months, and then had deep fried pizza with some mates, and slid out of my arse an hour later. If your body's not used to eating crap, you won't be able to handle it. I eat a ton of fat. I eat a ton of salt, ton of fat. I try to take it easy on the carbs, but I'm not one of those people that's like anti-carb. I'm just kind of anti-calorie right now, and carbs are just very calorie dense. And I try to get as much protein as I can. So, typically if you're eating a lot of protein, you're also going to be eating a lot of fat. And if I want to eat as much protein as I can within a calorie range, you kind of have to cut the carbs out. Like, something's got to give, and sugar is just out of the equation completely. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Do I think Tally would survive if WoW died off? Probably. He's one of the ones I think would do well if WoW completely dropped off, because he's got a fan base that watches him for plenty of other stuff. Do you think the patch where he kills Sargeras will drive people back similar to the Lich King? No. That's not that big of a deal. The general gaming public doesn't give a fuck about Sargeras, and neither do I. The Lich King was cool because he was fucking cool, because he was the Lich King. Sargeras is not cool at all. He's just not cool. Anywhere near as cool as Illidan or the Lich King, or Deathwing to some extent. I think Deathwing is kind of cool. That cinematic was badass. What was it like? My hatred burns as in the cavernous depths. Is like fucking giant wings. That shit was dope as fuck. Even that expansion sucked shit. With SWTOR being 5 years old, that means I've been watching you for just over 5 years. Starting watching you before the game came out, as you started talking about it on your channel. Question: out of all the MMO games / expansions that you've played, what was your favorite, and which has the best memories or stories? And I answered World of Warcraft is the obvious answer. It changed my life pretty dramatically. WildStar is the runner-up. Yep. We already kind of talked about that. I remember when you made the SWTOR parody in WoW, Where Does the Time Go? Yep, I can't believe that was over 5 years ago. I remember making that video like it was fucking yesterday. That was a fun video to make. Yeah, if you want to see the video I'm talking about, if I remember to, I'll link to it. It's the SWTOR PvP parody, I believe. I believe that's what it's called, SWTOR PvP. I wonder if it's the #1 search result for SWTOR PvP. It used to be. No, it's not. It's not. Damn. Yeah, SWTOR PvP parody. 335,000 views. 5 years ago. Fucking A. Where does the time go? That was a fun video to make, man. Not so fucking cheesy. Alright, moving on. Let's be real. WildStar was the last good MMORPG that was released. I agree. The reason why there aren't AAA MMORPGs is because the market is so saturated with shitty Asian games and abandoned free-to-play games. I agree partially. I feel like Blizzard is trying way too hard to appeal to the LGBT community and SJWs here. I don't know if I totally agree with that. I mean, the whole Tracer gay thing, I talked about this on the last podcast. I think they could have been a little bit more indirect with it. Again, bringing up The Last of Us. Like, The Last of Us, in my opinion, had the best gay character I've ever seen done in a video game. They did that character very, very well. I just don't like it when it's really forced and obvious and almost like a... it's not that I hate it when it's obvious. I just think it's shittier when it's obvious. And it's just... And it feels like it's something they do... Not for the sake of realism, but for the sake of just trying to be inclusive. Like when video games, when it's just like, when there's like a guy of every demographic represented, like when there's a black guy, an Asian guy, a white guy, a this guy, a that guy, or whatever. And it just takes me out of the game because that's not how real life is. In real life, it's mostly fucking white people. If the game is taking place in the United States, it's mostly white people, and then there'll be, other people scattered around, but you know what I mean. I just don't like it when it's unrealistically portrayed. Anyway, moving on here. Overwatch is still a fun game if you aren't playing comp. I don't like playing Overwatch quick play. It's too disorganized for my liking. When I play Overwatch, I only play ranked. Because quick play is just full of retarded bullshit. It's like, I don't know, it's like Widowmakers and fucking Hanzos and just, I don't know. Not that I'm against people playing that. Like, I don't mind when people play it in ranked because they're taking it pretty seriously and they're usually pretty decent at it. But when you play quick play, it's just full of people fucking around, and I'll be honest, I do as well. So I don't know. I'd rather play in a more serious capacity. I'm not sure what it is, but the audio is different. I think it sounds better. I think you're getting better at solo podcasting. This one feels more comfortable than the last one. I'm glad you're liking them. As for the audio quality, it probably sounds a little bit better because there's not as much like when you're doing them solo, it's easier to get the audio quality right because you're talking most of the time and there's not audio differences. Like when I have a co-host, he might be up here on audio and I might be down here. When it's just me, it's a little easier to do, and there's also not as much dead air. There's not as much dead time, so you don't hear as much background noise, hopefully. Damn, I've been watching since before SWTOR came out. Fuck, that makes me feel old. Used to watch some of your PvP videos and stuff. Hutball or whatever it was. Yep. Wait, you got a vasectomy? What? Why? You're only 23. You never know if you'll find a Zybika with a fat booty, man. Frowny face. Don't criticize, support, but Zybika is pretty funny. I'm reading responses to this guy. Having children is a common desire for most men and women, although the desire is especially prevalent in women. But exceptions to the rule exist, with the majority of the exceptions being male, as men don't have any biological drive to support and raise their children only to propagate. That is true. Yeah, I would say that's fairly true. Men don't have the same sort of baby fucking, like women legit, a lot of women go fucking crazy when they get into their 30s and they haven't had kids yet because the biological clock just goes fucking nuts. And they get really baby hungry, whereas men don't really have that. I don't know if I'd agree with that. You can always reverse it besides if he doesn't want kids. Hopefully he'll find some lady with the same views. My husband had one. It's not easily reversible. The success is ridiculously low. So, yeah, I'll talk about that. I would not have gotten a vasectomy if I thought I was going to get it reversed. I wouldn't have gotten it in the first place. That's not something that I would recommend. I would not ever, because, yeah, they're right. The success rate is low. So, no, I made the decision under essentially telling myself that it was irreversible because in my eyes it is because it's super fucking expensive, by the way, to get it reversed, and it doesn't work all the time, and I'm pretty fucking certain that I wanted to get it done before I got it done. I got it done because I don't want kids, man. It's very obvious. I don't want kids, and I've got long-term goals, particularly the financial ones, that having kids is the math doesn't add up, dude. My timeline with the math with kids doesn't add up, dude. Kids are like where to start, dude? Kids are the fucking enemy when it comes to doing what I want to do. My fucking plan is to spend as little money as possible, invest as aggressively as possible for the next close to 20 years. Having a kid throws a fucking monkey wrench in that, because if you have having a kid is like a flat out divider of your money, because even if you make a lot of money, you're going to spend, unless you're like a complete shitbag, you're probably going to spend a lot of money. If you make a lot of money, you're probably going to spend a good amount of money on your kid, because you're going to want your kid to have a good life, and you're going to spend that money on that football camp, and you're going to spend your money on the kid to do that special thing because you can, because you feel guilty if you don't, because you have the money to, and you don't want to deny your kid just for the sake of, I don't know, investing. So I don't know if that made any fucking sense, but I hope you get what I'm trying. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. Fucking dude, Marriage and kids does not, it just will not fucking work for my long-term goals, getting them done in the timeline I want to get them done. So, yeah, I'm very certain of my choice, and I do not regret my choice as of yet. And I don't think I will, but who knows? I've got a lot of life left to live. But I would much rather regret not being able to have a kid than having a kid and regretting it. It's not an even playing field in that regard. Dude, having a kid and regretting it has got to be the fucking one of the worst things ever. And it happens all the time. It happens all the time where having a kid is the worst thing that ever happened to somebody. But you don't ever hear anybody admit it because admitting it is so shitty. Admitting it sounds so shitty, but it's true. It's fucking true. And, yeah, it's just that nobody ever wants to talk about it or admit it. But yeah, there's people out there like that, and I definitely don't want to be one of those motherfuckers. You might want to consider throwing a small amount of sugar into your diet once it becomes, blah, 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 blah. Once it becomes a thing for a long enough time, I don't think there's a way to reverse it. I don't know about that shit. I get what he's trying to say. Essentially, eat a small amount of sugar every now and then. That way I'm not super sensitive to it. But I'm not worried about that shit because I don't have any issues. I don't have any serious issues with sugar. I just, I went a little crazy on Christmas and got sick because I ate way too fucking much and my body wasn't used to it. That's all that happened there. One of my real life friends fucking commented, I miss the good old days where we'd stay up for 24 hours playing WoW, binging on energy drinks and living off chips and frozen pizzas at AJ's house. I responded, that was a good time. Don't know if you're aware, but AJ has a wife and a house now. Holy shit, do I feel old. And he responded, haha, that's wild. Don't worry, dude. I don't have a wife or a house either. I do have a crippling addiction to League of Legends now, though. Not proud of it. Sugar intolerance is definitely a real thing. My mom eats little to no sugar, but when she does, her body becomes extremely sensitive to pain. Literally, if you touch her with a finger, it'll hurt. What the fuck? I've never heard of that. I remember the launch of SWTOR. Was a shame it didn't do well. Same goes for WildStar, and that's almost 3 years old. That's fucking crazy. These games are this old. SWTOR, I think, is doing pretty well. WildStar is definitely not. I think SWTOR is actually doing pretty damn well. It's got a niche player base, and I mean, yeah, it's not the next World of Warcraft, but from all the accounts I've heard, it's got a player base that plays it consistently, and whatever. That's all you need. Sorry. 2 questions. You should probably try building up your sugar. Why the fuck do people think this is that much of an issue? God damn. Sorry, I have some burping going on here. God damn, again? You should probably try building up your sugar by drinking a Coke once a week or split it up to a can or 2 throughout the week. I'm not going to do that shit. Number 2, how do you think a more political, conservative podcast with game footage in the background, how do you think, I'm assuming he means how do you think it would do? My friends and I have crazy political discussions, and we think it would be a big hit. I think there is definitely, there's definitely a market for more conservative viewpoints on the internet because it's so heavily dominated by liberals that there are other, there's a reason why Fox News is the #1 news network. It's because all the other ones only appeal to one fucking demo. They're the only ones appealing to a certain viewpoint. That's why they're #1. Whereas all the other news networks are, chopping that pie into so many pieces for the liberal viewer that yeah. So there's definitely a I think so anyway, seeing Ben Shapiro and who's another guy, the Louder with Crowder guy. There's a lot of conservative people that have really gotten super popular this year because of just the insanity coming out from the mainstream media and people like the Young Turks. You don't even have to be a conservative. You just have to be you don't have to be the traditional conservative that, goes with the party lines, God is good and Jesus and, no abortions. Like, even if you're just like a little bit conservative, which is what I am, like I'm anti-religion, pro-abortion, shoot your AR-15s in the air while you get fucked in the ass by your boyfriend right after you get married. That's what kind of conservative I am, I guess. I don't know where that falls in terms of party loyalty, but I play both sides a little bit, I guess. But yeah, no, I think there's definitely a market for more conservative viewpoints being expressed online because, goddamn, everything is fucking feel the burn, and I want people to pay for my college. It seems like everything is like that right now. Try some fruit. Different sugar type. Yeah, so fruit, since it's got fiber in it and since it's more slow digesting, fruit doesn't fuck me up when it comes to sugar. Not in the same way that actual like sugar from like a cookie would do. Unless I eat a bunch of watermelon. Like if I eat a bunch of like really dark pink watermelon that that like the really good watermelon where it's sweet as fuck and it's like really juicy. If I eat a bunch of that, I'll probably get a little hyper. But like apples and stuff like that, nah, I'll be all right. Yeah, so that's it for the comments this week. I think that's it for the podcast this week. We've been going for a while here, ladies and gentlemen. I think this might be one of the longest solo podcasts I've done in a while. Let me look at my topic list and see if I missed anything that I want to talk about. Not my YouTube questions. Yeah, so I guess that's it for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Be sure to check out the podcast on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and Twitch. Also, be sure to check out my new Crowfall Templar video. And if you're interested in Crowfall, be sure to sign up with the referral link down below. It should be in the description. You get 5% off, as well as I get a little bit of a kickback from it. So if you want to support the podcast, support me, and help me get paid, then sign up for Crowfall with that link and buy something if you're interested, or don't. Whatever. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the podcast, and I'll see you again next week. Have a good one, and happy 2017.